Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Thursday, the 14th of July, which should be known as Bank of England Day today, I think. Okay, let's look at the euro dollar first. And well, we've seen a bit of a follow through from yesterday. In fact, we've almost for a moment looking like we were going to break out the highs, and we may do yet. So it's actually put a marginally newer high coming in from these recent movements. Is this going to be the one that actually breaks out of this fiddly little movement? We'll see, but if it is, well, targets are easier to spot on the dailies here, on the hourlies rather. We're looking at daily pivots, and we have got the monthly pivot above us, which could be quite a nice target. But at the moment, with this current hourly bar here, we could be on for a bit more of a retracement. It's running to its daily R1. It may, if it breaks the trend line at the bottom there, and those 21 moving averages, be selling off back towards the daily pivot. So it's something to watch out for. It has come off quite sharply from its move, but these moves aren't that big in relative terms. So if we do, as I say, see a break of the lows, could see the daily pivot maybe more. Overall, though, it's the bias really at the moment. It's more bullish for this higher low that has popped in more recently on the hourly picture. Any, as I say, any move and break of these highs again, proper break of these highs could see us make our way up to the back to the monthly pivot and 500 there. Cable, well, as I say, today we've got the Bank of England meeting. It'll be interesting to see if they cut the rate as expected. Expected a 0.25 cut today now. Will that actually happen? We'll see. Let's have a look at the bigger picture here. Cable's already having a bit of a rally, but so most of the markets at the moment, it's looking a bit more bullish this morning at the moment, and bearish for the US dollar at this juncture. So we put a pivot swing in on the 4 hourlies. We're pushing up a little bit further at the moment. Nice move from that pivot swing. And well, if it continues in this mode, we could be running back towards at some point that daily 21 I talked about a couple of days ago. However, I don't think we've got to get too ahead of ourselves. In the short term, we're a little bit overbought at the moment into this daily R1. Already hit the daily pivot, so that's out of the way. I'm just watching what's going on here in terms of well, any sort of breakdown of the trend, which is potential. I mean, what we could really just see is a consolidation phase at some point, but maybe traders want to move their money around before the news, and then post the news, so we may get some volatility coming through today. But if we see a break of this trend line that's I've just drawn on there, well, we could be on for the Asian session lows there, which it run through to. So we could be running back towards those. Unlikely we go further, but on a day like this, and as I say, with such key news coming out, we could go from the R1 down to the S1, and vice versa. Or we could push up further and run into yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs. So it's a very open day in terms of what may not happen on cable at the moment, bearing in mind the key news that's due out later. Dollar yen. Well, dollar yen's pushing up once again and we're looking really for that daily 50 at this rate. It's broken through its weekly R3, which is in itself relatively rare, but it's done it. It's already almost on its daily R3, so it may push on a little bit further, but we'll see how we run there. I mean, today's pivots are so pinched relatively because of the tight day yesterday. Well, there's probably no massive surprise if we do break through these levels. Not a pair I normally trade though, the dollar yen. Okay, looking at the Aussie dollar, very much tighter move, consolidated phase. In fact, it's a bearish arami in terms of yesterday's candle, in terms of the picture there, and looks much more bearish than the other dollar pairs. in real terms, although you say this and you're looking at everything here, it's got higher lows kicking in. But this current move here is failing at the moment. If it can't break the high of the 12 o'clock bar there of the 13th, well, and starts rolling, breaking the trend line at the lows here, or the 21 moving average, is pretty much the same place there, same thing. If it starts breaking down that way, well, I'd still be looking at a potential move towards the weekly pivot, although the probability of that being hit is much less now. When we're looking at this hourly perspective, we've seen the daily pivot hit, the R1 hit. The trend line, as I said, would be across the lows there. I'd be looking for as a potential. Could be coming back down towards the S1, but it's rare that we see an R1 S1 hit, but yesterday's range was relatively tight, and the pivots are quite pinched. So there we go. Okay, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, so Canadian dollar selling off here, moving down really quite nicely. Back to the monthly pivot here, so finding a bit of support temporarily at least. It's also hit its daily R1 at the moment. There's on this hourly basis, there's some divergence. Again, it's a bit of inverted pairings here. So the trend line across the highs there, if that's broken, well, maybe back to 21s, maybe further. But we've got to look at what gold's doing at the moment, and the gold could spoil it, because gold is having a bit of a run at the moment. It could push on up here through these 21s and hit the daily pivot and maybe further. So if that starts happening, I wouldn't be totally shocked if we see the Canadian dollar carry on in this decent trend. It's, as I say, at the moment, it's just having a bit of a retracement from its this situation. We'll see how it runs, but the stronger the oil price and more it pushes up, more likely we'll see the Canadian dollar continue pushing south. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. As I say, key news really is the Bank of England data coming out. We've already had the Australian employment report come out this morning at 2:30, which stifled the Aussie a little bit there now. There's not much else that I'm just looking. We've got the PPI in the US at 130. Sometimes it gives a bit of volatility. The unemployment claims coming out with that as well, but those weekly figures barely give much in the way of volatility on the unemployment claims. It's more the PPI. We'll be looking at inflation. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you have a great day. I'll be speaking to you in the morning. Bye for now.